Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Minecraft survival world. Today we're going to be doing a few things which is going to make this episode pretty much a little bit different from the rest of them, because it's not going to be linear, and we're going to be getting on with a few different projects all at once and doing a little bit of a mishmash of different tasks which I actually wanted to get done in several different areas. So in this intro I'm actually not going to talk much. I usually do, but I'm going to cut this one short slightly and sort of just do the tasks one by one. And as you can tell, I'm getting straight into things here, and that's because we've got so much to do in the 20-minute episode, and I'm kind of feeling quite productive in this one, so I want to actually get quite a few things done. But before that, you can tell this looks pretty amazing. This looks quite amazing. I love all the little green, the different shades of green and things which we have with the whole crop farm here, because as you can tell, not only have I turned all of the grass blocks that were here into farmland, but I've also gone and planted down loads and loads of crops, which took a very long time, to be honest, but hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully we get loads of stuff from this farm, and it will be really awesome to see the whole thing when it actually gets flushed down and harvested. But I actually have to press that lever down there in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. You can just barely see it there in my F5 mode here, so I probably won't be able to actually see all of the crops go down unless I can run really fast around on my horse and actually see the rest of them going. But yeah, we're going to get straight into this episode. The first thing I'm going to be working on is a few aesthetic changes basically around this base area, and I did do this a while ago, but there's still a few things remaining, a few little touch-ups that I wanted to do to make this place look just a little bit better, and that shouldn't take too long at all. So I'm actually just chopping down some dark oak wood, as you can see here, which is kind of ironic because later on in this episode we're actually going to be working on the tree farm again, or a new tree farm. So yeah, I know just like 2 or 3 episodes ago we built one, and then technically that was all useless because I kind of, tore it down, and then but let's not tell anybody about that. But yeah, basically I am going to build a new one, and I've changed the position of where I actually want to build it, because originally I wanted it somewhere over there, but now I'm thinking that we've got this whole area here where I actually just generally tend to farm trees anyway, and I left some wood up there, so I'm going to have to go get that. And I generally used to farm trees over here in this little bit with these strips, and I used to place saplings here and stuff, but we can actually make it like, if we dig out this area right here, then we could make it right here, and I think that would be like a perfect place to make this tree farm. I think it's just like, I'm not going to use this area for anything else, and so that is a good idea. But the reason I'm actually chopping down loads and loads of dark oak wood right here is for a little bit of another project which I'm going to be working on, and that is to actually get loads and loads of fences around all of our farms which we have over there, because I keep seeing loads and loads of mobs popping out of nowhere, just coming over and destroying the crops, and then there's just some holes there, and it's really annoying, to be honest. It's just a little thing, but also it will make it look a lot better if these big farms have fences around them. I think it will add to the aesthetics of the whole place, which is why I said we're going to be doing some aesthetic changes. And yeah, it's the first thing we're going to do, so I'm just going to get on with mining some of these trees, and then I'm going to get over there and start placing down some of these fences. I've just finished putting in all of the fences here, and as you can see, it does make a big difference to the area. Things are looking a lot better than they were before, and they're not as plain and as boring as before. But saying that, after having done this, I actually think that I could add in some oak pillars here and there, and maybe some fence gates from place to place. But the thing is, I've actually gone down into my storage system and found that I have no oak left whatsoever, so I'm going to have to go and get some more oak wood, and that's going to involve pretty much making my tree farm. So I'm going to wait until my tree farm is completely done, and then I can actually add in all of the oak here in these corners and things. So I'm just going to leave it open for now, and hopefully that should do for now. But now I think we're going to move straight on to the next project, and yeah, I pretty much like how efficiently we're doing this episode. It's quite a new thing for me. So the next project on the list is a melon and pumpkin farm, and I've actually been looking at this little area over here which is next to all my big farms out here and pretty much next to my house as well. I've been looking at this area and basically, you know, been imagining these farms towering up into the air. And this is an area which I've selected, and I say towering up because they are literally towers. So we're going to be building a melon and pumpkin tower. So two towers here. That kind of reminds me of the Lord of the Rings. And yeah, it's a bit off topic, but yeah, I am quite into the Lord of the Rings. But yeah, so we're going to have two towers here. These are designed by Exumavoid, and it's a really awesome, compact, simple, and cheap design. It's pretty efficient as well. So it's pretty much ticks up all the boxes for the simple pumpkin and melon design. And it's definitely much better than this farm here, and definitely much better than that one over there as well. Because these ones obviously require harvesting, and it's really bugging me that these wooden logs aren't in here. So I'm going to have to go get some oak wood and do it before I make the whole tree farms, I think. Probably can't wait until that long. But I think it's just going to be a matter of actually going and placing in some foundations and then building up layer by layer this farm. So the whole farm actually can be built in a kind of a pattern, and you can alternate the different blocks which you use. So I went into my redstone world and did a little bit of a mock-up of this already, so I know what I actually want to be using. So I've got some dark oak wood planks and some diorite and some andesite. I never use diorite or andesite in anything apart from my nether hub. I use some andesite, I guess, but diorite definitely not. And this project is basically a good time to try out some diorite. So I've already gone and planned this out and created a little bit of a design. And so now all I have to do is really get some blocks down and get some of the redstone in as well, which it will be underground slightly in this 2-block deep hole which I've created. And these little bits here are for the chests and the buttons which will actually fire the whole farms. No matter how much you prepare for a build, you just always forget something. So yeah, I built up my nice lovely pumpkin tower, and everything's looking good. The building didn't go too bad. It was quite smooth and quite easy, but I've kind of forgotten my way down. So yeah, I'm kind of trapped up here now, but at least on the plus side, the views are pretty amazing. But you see why I wanted to actually go and fence off all of these farms, because you see there's loads of dirt patches all over the place, and I kind of don't want them to be there. So but I guess the problem with this is mobs might still be able to spawn within the actual farms. I didn't think of that, but that's not too much of a problem. It still looks pretty cool with all of the fences. And yeah, now I'm gonna have to get down here. Okay, now this is pretty clever. Why did I not think of this? Minecraft is not as dangerous as I once imagined. But by the way, when I was up there, all the way up there and enjoying the lovely views, apart from feeling scared and trapped, I just realized that the views there are kind of much better than the views from the watchtower. So I probably want to build another watchtower in the future at some point. But somewhere over here in the midst of things, because that one is a little bit far out and I didn't really plan that out too well. But look, I have made it. So let's take a look at how this thing looks. And yeah, that's not too bad. I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know. I think it could be improved in some way. I feel like it's not. Yep, you just died there. I feel like it's not the best design. I think it could. I kind of imagined it to look a little bit better, because when Exumavoid actually made it on the Hermitcraft 3 server, or the Hermitcraft 2 server, one of them. I think he made it on all of them actually, but on one of the recent ones, I think it was Hermitcraft 3, he made it look really good. And I think it's this diorite which kind of ruins it a little bit. But I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's too bad at all. It probably could do with replacing out all of that diorite though, and that would take quite a while, but I don't know if I'm prepared to do that yet. So I was riding along here, and then I came across to the farm here, and I noticed there was something significantly different about the whole farm and the way it looked. I don't know if you can tell yet. I think I can tell, because yeah, somehow all of the water just flow is flowing out. All of the crops have been harvested without me even knowing, which is, yeah, I mean, that's really efficient. I didn't even get a chance. I didn't even have to go and press the lever. And yeah, like I was saying, I didn't even get a chance to actually see the crops go down. Luckily, the other side hasn't gone as well. And yeah, I know exactly why this has happened, because if I take you... Oh no, I'm trapped in the current now. There we go. Luckily escaped from that. So if I take you over here, then you can see exactly why this has happened. So an Enderman is probably the root cause of the problem, but if we go all the way inside our little thing that we've got going here, you see that we've got a little bit of a water leakage, and pretty unfortunately it's gone directly over the redstone here. So probably this is not the safest way of keeping my redstone. Clearly this is not very efficient. I think I'm going to have to go and border some of this off, at least make it a little bit safer, because there is literally one block away from water in some places, and I think an Enderman's just come along and taken out one of these blocks and basically temporarily broken my farm. It's not going to be too hard to fix up though. Yeah, so it's this block right here, which I think just needs filling up. But hopefully everything else is okay. I think all we need to do is repair up this redstone and then we should be fine. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen again. After having built these things up, I actually think they look pretty decent. I think they look pretty good, and I know I was worrying about the diorite and everything earlier, but I think they suit the area and they work pretty well. I know I've built them pretty high up and gone into the sky limit. Well, not really, but you know, yeah, I've gone a little bit high with these, so yeah, it kind of did look weird to me originally, but now I think it really just works in the area. It's kind of cool to just have these two things sticking up, and I think it works pretty well. So this was a pretty simple and easy build to do as a repetitive design, and it's good to do these kind of things sometimes, because usually when I'm doing aesthetic builds, I've just got no idea what to build next, and it takes a lot of time getting the materials together and things like that. But for these builds, I kind of had all of the materials ready, and so it was really easy. I did have to get some more pistons at one point. But yeah, I've done the redstone below as well, and that was pretty simple. Definitely, it was just a couple of redstone lines, so I figured there was no point of really showing that on camera. And I also added in some hoppers leading directly from beneath that water stream right there and going into this chest right here. So you see I've been testing it out a little bit and seeing what the efficiency is. If I click this, you'll see all of the pistons work, and last time I actually had some melons coming out here, which is a bit weird. I think it was a glitch through one of the piston blocks probably, but luckily there are none there right now, and I'm not really too worried about losing any melons, to be honest. Since we're getting so many, we've already got, how many is that, about 6-7 stacks of melons, which is pretty much more than I'm ever going to use already. And we can obviously do it with pumpkins as well. We're obviously going to get less pumpkins because each melon block splits into 9 melon, which means we'll get 9 times as many melons as we will pumpkins. Oh, and some has been lost here again, but I don't really care. It's kind of cool that some falls out, really, and I'm not too bothered about it. But if you've noticed as well, I've gone and got myself some oak wood and added in these pillars and added in some slabs as well, so you can't actually jump over these. And that should stop all of the annoying missing, blocks which have been trampled on by all of the mobs and bunnies and things like that, which just came along and then trampled over all of my lovely crops. And I've also got some lighting in here to maybe light things up a bit, make them look a little bit better. But apart from that, I've only got one little bit of news which I need to mention, and that is, although I've actually fixed the farm over there, I went and looked in their storage system there to check how much we actually got from all of that being harvested, and that should have been like 2 double chests full, or maybe just under that. I was estimating, because it took just about that much to fill up everything with crops originally, so we should obviously get more than we put down originally. And I went and it was kind of like half a chest, so yeah, we've definitely lost a lot of crops somewhere, and I think it's in the item elevator. So I think I'm gonna have to go over there at some point and figure out what the problem is, and maybe I'll go at the end of the episode and harvest the other side of the crops and figure out whether they're being lost in the item elevator or somewhere else. Because obviously I don't want to lose that many items. That kind of ruins the whole point. I might as well use this kind of simple farm here rather than do something like that. But I think that's all for these projects. Now I've got to go and move on to one more project, and I've got a choice of two different things I can do, and really it's just about which one is the more important one, and I think I've made my decision on that. So my next project is proving pretty fun, although it's a little bit difficult on the redstone side because I'm going to be doing something really fun and quite cool in this little area here. So I'm always complaining about how hard it, or at least I'm always thinking about it, about how hard it is to actually get down into the storage system down there, because I always have to transfer items across while I'm working in this area. And so for a long time I've wanted to go and make like a really simple trapdoor which leads me straight down into there. And I tried to make one over there before, but then that design was crazily big and it really wasn't worth it. But now I've came up with a very, very simple and awesome solution, I think, to this problem. So it makes sense to just have a 1x1 trapdoor which leads down into the storage area here. And this is like the perfect positioning because this one goes straight down, and then we have like a passageway that I've made, and that leads straight into the storage system here. So you see we've got some pistons in the pillar here, and the design has been slightly modified. Before it was just a 2 block wide pillar of cobblestone going along here, but I've added in some stairs and put in some of these pistons here, and you probably can guess what these are for. So yeah, I've been experimenting around with some redstone here, and to be honest, this did take quite a long time. Don't know what happened there. And eventually I came up with this whole design. I feel like a redstone genius right now, although it's really not anything too amazing. It literally is just a redstone wire spiraling around and a repeater here. So this basically, when you press that, you can go and walk through here. And it looked like I walked straight through the blocks there, but basically the blocks were pulled back. But obviously, again, you can't see that very well. And right, I seem to have fallen down here. I think I broke too many blocks there with the super fast shovel which I'm using. But yeah, this is going to be a really cool way to get in and out of my base. But over here, I'm not just going to have like a hole, but I think I'm going to actually make a simple trapdoor, which is one of Mumbo's like piston-powered trapdoor things, and it's really simple. It's also got an up function, so I can go down with it, and it can also take me up as well. But the only problem with that is I actually won't be able to get back out of here because basically there's no way I can wire up an input to both of these pistons so I can go out. But I'm not too bothered about that. I think I might be able to figure out a way, but I think I'll leave that for later. I'll just leave the function of kind of going inside, and then I'll use the normal exit to get out for now. So I'm just going to go ahead and build in this this little trapdoor here, which shouldn't take too long, hopefully, and hopefully there's enough space for it and things. And then I'll start adding in some of the aesthetics to this little tunnel. And you've noticed probably the same thing on the other side. This is where I cleared out a room last time to actually make a trapdoor, and I think I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side. You see I have the button already ready here, and yeah, it kind of makes sense to have it on that side as well, just in case I'm coming from that direction. And I think it's a really cool thing, and it also adds to the symmetry, of course. So I'm pretty much enjoying this project already. This has taken much longer than I would have expected, and it definitely has tore up, the entire landscape here with the whole path pretty much destroyed. All of the gravel has fallen through, and yeah, I'm pretty much gonna have to restructure this path and come up with a new way of doing things over here. But yeah, this thing is functional and it's working. So this is the whole block. So I've created the whole well, followed the tutorial, followed Mumbo's tutorial, and actually built that thing down there. But the hardest thing was actually wiring up the input here. This thing was extremely hard to wire up, and it was quite hard to avoid the other circuit I've got going on there. And yeah, I had to circle some redstone round, and with all of the path and stuff, it made it quite difficult. But finally, all of that's over. So if we take a look at this, oh yeah, I think I was meant to like walk forward then, but kind of didn't work properly because I didn't manage to walk there. But yeah, you get the idea. This thing works pretty well, and if we go the other way as well, then like I say, it has an up function as well. So this is a really cool design by Mumbo, and yeah, I think this is just awesome. I'm gonna have to replace that now with a grass block, and you see that we're done. This thing pretty much works. So now obviously I'm gonna have to work on the aesthetics of this area because it does look a bit crazy. Obviously, you're not going to leave it like this, and yeah, I think there's a cave over here as well, so probably don't want to leave this like the way it is. But this is actually pretty cool that there's a cave right next to my enchanting table, which is right here. So behind this is a big cave and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm going to get on with getting in some of the aesthetics now, and then I'll start repeating this same thing on the other side. I honestly don't know how, but I have somehow managed to actually do this, to actually pull off this crazy little redstone project. And I know it probably didn't seem that big or amazing, but to me, I thought it was pretty cool. It's like an achievement because it was so hard to get all of the redstone integrated in such a small space. And I've really never done anything like that before. And I've managed to rebuild my path and put in some of the gravel again. I don't think it looks as good as it did before, but oh well. I think I need to add some bone meal around to the grass as well. But enough of all of that. I've kind of forgotten exactly where it is. I think it's this one. But yeah, this thing is working. Yes, there we go. So we're down into the new aesthetically pleasing area. Well, it's not that aesthetically pleasing. It's mainly grey. Everything is quite grey. I think I could include a few more andesite blocks in the walls here. I'll probably just edit that in just a second. But yeah, this thing does work. And if we use, and by the way, this glowstone was kind of in the path above because I've used glowstone in that path, so it just kind of doubles up as being down here as well, which is quite cool. And we can open this one as well, although again you can't see it. And we're into our storage system, so this is really cool. I think I'm going to leave this one for off camera when I have some more time, and then I'll work on a method to actually get us out as well. So we can probably have some kind of input up here on the wood somewhere, and I should be able to wire it up. Let's see. I mean, it will be even an even bigger challenge to actually wire up an out device or something to open these from the inside. That would be a bit ridiculous, but I'm going to have to leave that for another time because I think we're pretty much out of time for this one. So we've come to the end of this episode, and I've got to say it was an absolutely awesome one because we've got so much stuff done in this episode. It's been extremely productive. And yeah, I've got more done than I would have even expected. So obviously we've got the melon farms and the pumpkin farm. We've got the little things down there which let us get into the base. We've also got all of the fences and the aesthetic changes around this area. And there are more to come from that side of things. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this episode. It's been a really fun one to do, and like I've enjoyed every single project we've done today, and hopefully it didn't seem like too much of a rushed episode or too fast. And if you guys don't like the cuts being fast like this, then please be sure to tell me in the comments below, because that's the only way that I will know about these kind of things. And if you really liked the episode, then please be sure to subscribe as well. But I think that's all from me for today. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.